Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back again to the Sylbourne Show. Without further delay, I've got Coach Chris Browne on the sofa. Well, people say it's not a sofa, the chair, you know, but Coach Chris Browne, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, Sylbourne. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I'm glad Coach Chris Browne is not the Chris Browne that you've been hearing around, you know. This is the real McCoy. He even got an E at the end. Sir, welcome again. Listen, it's exciting having you here today, you know, and
Pleasure.
of course, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it's the uniform of the Sylbourne Show, red all over,
and
even red socks, you know,
yeah.
and somebody says pink. I'm in tune with myself, you know what I'm saying, you know. But Sir Browne, we had Sal earlier today,
Right.
who's going to join us later, and of course, she has something special for us for bald hair, because she's going to give us something to grow
Give us for our hair, that's great.
She struck out on her own. What would you say are some of the key ingredients for someone to strike out on their own based on necessity?
Someone striking on their own based on necessity, as you just mentioned. One is belief.
Yes.
Two, have a plan. Know what you're good at and go for it.
But
Go
I would
for
say know what you're good at.
Know what you're good at. The reason why I say know what you're good at is because sometimes we strike out on something. Either we've seen somebody else do it,
Yeah.
or we thought about how much we're going to make on these areas. But if we actually know and tap into our own potential and realize this is something that I'm really good at, you're on the right track. You need to develop it from there.
That's very interesting, and my team is going to laugh at what I say because I'm a rapper. You know, I used to rap and break dance, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, I mean, should I do that?
Give me a little bit. That'd be great.
No, I don't mean do that. No, I mean, should I strike out on my own and get back into that field?
Well, he's going to get up and do it.
No.
No, Sylbourne, I say that it's true. We're multifaceted. We have different talents in different areas, but there is one key talent, the one that you actually enjoy. I mean, I always say it's great. It's a blessing to get up on a Monday morning and get paid for something you enjoy doing. That's natural. So obviously you gravitated towards presenting and what you do, and you enjoy it, you know?
Yes.
Now, somebody else might think, well, I'm better at rapping. That is my talent.
Yeah.
Great, go for it. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing.
Right. So the challenges that people regularly face when making a career switch then, because you mentioned that, and of course different persons at this time and at this juncture, even this country, whereby the 9-to-5 factor is something which is even fading out, whereby there's no sort of fixed jobs.
Right.
What would you say are some of the key factors when making a career switch?
Making a career switch, I'll say, I'll go back to the same thing. I'll say belief is one. Let me just break that down. You've got to have that belief. The reason being, you're going to come up against a lot of obstacles. You're going to come up against a lot of people saying, why are you doing this? Especially even within your own family. Look, you've got responsibilities, you've got this, you've got to do that. That is their vision for you. You've got another vision which you've got to follow through. I'm not saying to anybody, look, just jump off it and start running and going with that because I just had a dream or I saw a film and I'm just going to go for it. No, you've got to have a solid belief in knowing what you need to do. Another key factor is this. Work it out. Set a plan. 1 to 7, 1 to 5. At least start the plan off. Think about it carefully. You know, I'm always one who's saying, look, go for it, entrepreneur, go for it. You've got a dream, go for those goals. But I'd always say, look, let's set a plan first. Realize how we're going to build this. If you're going to build a building, you've got to set the foundation, right? You've got the foundation. Once you start building on that, whatever tsunami, whatever's coming at you, you're going to sway, but you're going to stand strong at the end of it because it's your belief, right? But you've got to have an intelligent belief to realize, well, there are areas I have to work out still at the same time.
So someone then wants a promotion at work, and what are the key things they need to then successfully achieve it? They want a promotion at work, they believe in themselves. What are some of the key dynamics that they need to gravitate to?
A key dynamic, which I'll say overall, is make sure that you'll be an asset to that company. If you want to be an asset to that company, you've got to learn more about what you're actually doing. You've got to know it from every angle. As they say, cream always rises to the top. You don't have to keep pushing yourself, pushing in front of the boss or everything. Do your work to the best ability and exceed what they expect of you. It will happen naturally within that field.
There's something you said, and I picked that up on your bio. You said, in my everyday life, I have a passion for helping people through personal development, which I eat, sleep, and drink personal development. What drives you then, Chris?
Oh, see, when you asked me a great question there. I eat it, I sleep it, I drink it. I do. It's that very era I said, You get up on a Monday morning,
Yeah.
get paid for something you enjoy doing.
Yes.
So in my hobby times, yes, I'm still interested in development. I'm looking at what other people are doing.
Yes.
I'm absorbing as much information. Even just having a conversation sometimes you
Yes.
pick up on a lot of things that you could turn this way, turn that way. What drives me is back to what my coin phrase is, inspiring change
Yes.
in others. Because there are a lot of dreams, a lot of aspirations people have got, and you don't know someone's circumstance. It could be the way they grew up. It could be their environment. It could be, and sometimes meeting someone, you just see this one thing that's sparking it that they want to do, but they haven't got the belief to do it, and you draw it out of them.
Listen, Chris, we have a couple of viewer questions from our Facebook page, and to get you started, Chris, someone asked this question: how can I know my true potential?
Right.
How can they know their true potential? And of course, you can say to the, the audience or the viewers, to the camera, if anything, how can someone know their true potential?
If you really want to know your true potential, first of all, you've got to sit back and review through a few things. You've got to do a personal SWOT. A SWOT, what we're talking about is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. When we talk about that, we're talking about identifying what is your personal strength. How can you identify that? You've got to be a bit brave. Go to somebody you know, or somebody who knows you, and ask them, what is it? What is the quality about you that's outstanding, that they actually like about you? Ask them to be honest with you, right? All right, weaknesses. Weaknesses, I never really say weaknesses. I don't really say weaknesses. I put it as an area that needs to be developed, because we all got them at the end of the day. I could think about many weaknesses that I think I want to develop in this area, develop in that area, identify that, challenge it, be brave enough to expose it. Expose it, don't hide it, expose it and start working on it, right? Opportunities, there are opportunities all around you, all the time, but you got to create the opportunities, because you've got to be prepared, you've got to be ready for those opportunities that are around you. And how do you do that? By being better at what you do, even more, and then create them. Tell people about it, let them know, let your work speak for itself on top of that. The threats, now when we say threats, people automatically think of an endangerment or a case of somebody else who's coming up. That's not the threat. The one thing I'll say is this, and I always stick to it, is you got to be better than you were yesterday and better tomorrow than you are today. You're not in competition with anybody else. You are in competition with yourself first. So work out, what are your threats? What do you need to work on? What is your competition, as I said yourself, that you've got to be better at as well, and start working towards it. Big things are going to happen from there.
Chris, that is fantastic. I want to pick up on the one about the weakness bit.
Right.
Because sometimes persons see the weakness as a very challenging. But what I pick up now is take the weakness and put it also with the strengths, and look at those as the characteristics, and then to strengthen it.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Couldn't put it a better way. Because if you don't identify that, what's going to happen is you'll go along with your strengths, and you'll be acting on these strengths. And all it takes is one little pot shot in that weakness. Foundation is no use. Everything starts to fall down. So amalgamating those together, as you just said, brilliant. Yes, I'd go with that.
So challenges your weakness. Grab hold of your weakness and strengthen it. That's fantastic. Well, I think the following one also links back to the organization of work is, how can I know my work potential?
How can you
within my work organization that I work?
Think back to when you first went for that job and you went for the interview. They chose you. They picked you out of so many other people. When you go to that interview, you sit in the chair, you get up, you go out, thank you, go out. Somebody else comes and sit in that chair straight after you. And they sell themselves as well. But there must have been something about you why they chose you. Because they believe that you can do the job. Right? They saw that potential inside of you. The fact they actually chose you out of all those people, you are good. You are good. Identify what that was. Go and speak to your boss. Ask him, what was it? You know, hoping he tell you the right thing, right? But identify what it was. Start to build on that potential. Start working on it. Build it up. It's like going to the gym. You realize if you go to the gym, summertime, you cannot get on any of the machines, right? Everybody's there. As if when you go outside after, you're pumped up and you go on the road like this. No, you've got to work a few months on, and then it changes. So the same thing with yourself. You've got to develop yourself and work on those areas each and every day.
So true to yourself, a true development coach, Chris Browne. What can I say? Well, listen, Chris, tell us then, what is those are sound advices, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can find out more about Chris Browne, Coach Chris Browne, from our website. And of course, you'll find more information about Chris Browne as well from his website, which you'll hear about later. But what is the word or the quotation or the quote that drives you? What is that mantra?
One that actually drives me, well, to be honest, there's a couple that drive me. And one of them one is, let me just get this right, because I'm going to go back to one which was scripturally, which actually made a difference in my life from where I was, right? And it is, as a man thinketh, so shall it be, right? Yes. That is one, because your state of mind projects what's going to actually happen and starts to drive you in a direction you're going to go, right? That's one. Now, the other one, when we think about it, is this. And I always say to people, the way you thought yesterday brought you where you are today.
Right.
The way you think today will take you where you want to be tomorrow.
Fantastic.
So they kind of go together in a sense, right? And it makes all the difference. You live by that, you go by that. I mean, personally myself, I remember going through a very hard time in the beginning of my life. And funny enough, it was a pastor who actually said to me, and he's saying this quote, which is, I'll lift you out the dunghill and put you in high places. And I remember that. I remember that. I remember working on it, and everything started to change. You know, as God opened up the door and started using it, things were from there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Chris has taken us to high places today. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Okay?
It's a pleasure, Sylbourne.
See you around.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Coach Chris Browne, and I've just been on the Sylbourne Show. Like, sign up, find out. Everything you want to know is on the Sylbourne Show.